I'm 27 years old, and I've spent my entire life watching my younger brother Nathan be celebrated for simply existing. He's always been the golden child, the brilliant one, the destined for greatness one, the one my parents introduced to everyone as our son, the future doctor. When he got accepted into medical school 4 years ago, my parents threw him a party with over 100 guests. When I got my master's degree in social work 3 years ago, my mom took me to dinner at Olive Garden. So maybe I should have seen it coming when Nathan told me I wasn't invited to his medical school graduation party. But somehow, it still felt like a knife to the chest. It was late April, about 6 weeks before his graduation, when he called me. I was at work, counseling a teenager through a family crisis, so I let it go to voicemail. When I listened to it during my lunch break, his tone was casual, almost cheerful. "Hey, so I wanted to give you a heads up about my graduation party. Mom and Dad are going all out, renting a venue, hiring caterers, the whole thing. It's going to be pretty exclusive, mostly my med school friends, their families, some of Dad's colleagues. Anyway, we've been working on the guest list and trying to keep it tight. I'll see you at the actual graduation ceremony, obviously, but the party is really just for people who were part of this journey with me, you know? Talk later." I listened to it 3 times, waiting for the part where he said he was joking. It never came. I called him back immediately. He answered on the 4th ring, sounding distracted. "Nathan, what was that voicemail about?" "Oh, did you get it? Yeah, so the party is going to be intimate, just close friends and people who really supported me through med school. Nothing personal." "Nothing personal? I'm your sister." "I know, and you'll be at graduation. But, be honest, when was the last time you even asked me about school? You didn't visit me once in 4 years. You missed my white coat ceremony because you had to work. You forgot to call me after my Step 1 exam results. You've been completely absent from this whole experience." The accusation hit me hard because there was a grain of truth in it, even if the context was completely ignored. "Nathan, I live 4 hours away and work 50-hour weeks with at-risk youth. I'm a social worker. I can't just take time off whenever I want. And I didn't forget about your Step 1 results. I texted you congratulations the same day." A text. Wow. Really felt the support there. "What did you want me to do?" "I sent you care packages during your exams. I helped you move into your apartment. I listened to you stress about rotations for hours on the phone." "Care packages?" He actually laughed. "You mean the 1 box of granola bars you sent sophomore year?" Other people's siblings visited them regularly, came to their presentations, celebrated their milestones. You treated my medical school experience like it was some hobby I had going on. This party is for people who were actually there." I felt tears burning behind my eyes, but refused to let them fall. "Did Mom and Dad agree to this?" A pause. It was actually Dad's idea. He said the party should reflect the caliber of achievement and the people who helped me get there. Mom agreed that it made sense to keep it to people who really invested in my success. Of course, it was Dad's idea. Dad, who had always made it clear that Nathan's career in medicine was worthwhile while my work with troubled teens was nice, but not exactly prestigious. Dad, who introduced Nathan as Dr. Nathan a full year before he'd even graduate, but still introduced me as our daughter. She works with kids. "So, I'm not worth celebrating you, because I didn't invest enough? I'm your sister, Nathan. I've been your sister for 27 years. I was there when you learned to ride a bike, when you bombed your SATs the first time, when your high school girlfriend broke your heart. Doesn't that count for anything?" "That's not the same as being there for the most important 4 years of my life. Look, I don't expect you to understand. You've never worked for something this hard. Social work is important, sure, but it's not the same as becoming a physician. The sacrifice, the dedication, you just don't get it." That sentence hung in the air between us. "You've never worked for something this hard." I'd spent 6 years getting my bachelor's and master's degrees while working part-time to pay for it because my parents' college fund had been exhausted by Nathan's undergraduate years at a private university. I'd spent the last 3 years working with teenagers who'd been abused, neglected, and traumatized, carrying their stories home with me every night, crying in my car between appointments because I cared so much it physically hurt. But sure, I'd never worked hard. "Nathan, What you just said. I have to go. I have rounds. I'll see you at graduation. Bye, Em. He hung up. I sat in my office, staring at my phone, feeling like I'd been hollowed out. My little brother, the kid I'd helped with homework, defended from bullies, cheered for at every baseball game, had just told me I wasn't worthy of celebrating his success. That night, I called my mom. Surely she would see how wrong this was. Oh, honey, Nathan told me he talked to you. I know you're disappointed, but try to understand. This is his moment. He's worked so incredibly hard, and he wants everything to be perfect. The party is going to be very sophisticated, lots of important people. It's really more of a networking event than a family party. Mom, I'm family. He's excluding me from a family event. You'll be at graduation. That's the important part. The party is just, well, it's complicated. Your father and I are already paying for so much of it, and every seat costs money. We have to prioritize people who matter most to Nathan's future. People who matter most. As if I didn't matter at all. Did you even try to convince him to invite me? A long pause. Sweetheart, I'm not going to force your brother to invite someone he doesn't want at his party. Even if that someone is his sister. He has his reasons, and we need to respect them. What reasons, Mom? What did I do that was so terrible? You haven't exactly been present, Emily. You missed Thanksgiving last year. You didn't come home for Nathan's birthday. You've been so wrapped up in your own life that you've missed a lot of family things. Maybe this is a wake-up call. There was again the suggestion that I was the problem, that my absence was neglect rather than the reality of being an underpaid social worker who couldn't afford to take time off or travel home every month. I missed Thanksgiving because I was covering for a coworker whose mother died. I missed Nathan's birthday because one of my kids was in crisis and I couldn't leave her. I'm not absent by choice, Mom. I have responsibilities. And Nathan had responsibilities too, but his siblings should have been more important. That's all I'm saying. Actions have consequences, Emily. I hung up feeling worse than before. My family had decided that my career, my calling to help vulnerable children, was somehow less important than Nathan's path to becoming a doctor. And because I'd prioritized my work over family gatherings, I deserved to be excluded from one of the biggest celebrations of Nathan's life. The next week, I saw the Facebook event. Celebrating Dr. Nathan Miller, it was titled, even though he wouldn't technically be a doctor for another month. The guest list was visible. 156 people invited. Cousins I barely knew. My parents' neighbors. Nathan's college roommate who I'd met exactly twice. But not me. That's when I made my decision. I'd been wanting to take a real vacation for 2 years. I'd been dreaming about going to London, walking through museums, seeing theater in the West End, eating fish and chips by the Thames. I'd been putting it off because of work, because of money, because of 1,000 reasons that suddenly felt ridiculous. Nathan's graduation party was on a Saturday in mid-June. I found a perfect week-long trip to London, leaving that Thursday and returning the following Wednesday. It would cost nearly $3,000, most of my savings, but I didn't care. If I wasn't good enough to celebrate my brother, then I was going to celebrate myself. I booked the flight, the hotel, the theater tickets. Every time I felt guilty, I reminded myself that Nathan had explicitly told me I wasn't wanted. I wasn't crashing a party I'd been excluded from. I was simply living my life. I didn't tell my family right away. But 3 weeks before the trip, my mom called to see if I'd thought more about coming to graduation weekend anyway, even if just a graduation itself. I can't, I said simply. I'll be out of the country. The silence was deafening. Out of the country? During your brother's graduation? I'm going to London. I leave Thursday, back the next Wednesday. Emily Grace Miller, you are not missing your brother's medical school graduation to go on vacation. Actually, I am. Since I'm not invited to the party, and since apparently I haven't been supportive enough anyway, I figured I'd use that weekend for something that makes me happy. This is outrageous. Selfish. Spiteful. Funny. I thought excluding your sister from a family celebration was selfish and spiteful, but what do I know? My dad got on the phone. Young lady, you will cancel that trip and be at your brother's graduation. That's not a request. I was 27 years old, financially independent, and absolutely done with being treated like I didn't matter.
No, Dad.
I won't. I'm going to London. You all have made it very clear that my presence doesn't matter anyway. Nathan literally said I didn't deserve to be at his party. So I'm taking myself somewhere I actually am wanted. A city full of museums and theater and history that doesn't care whether I'm prestigious enough. I hung up on them for the first time in my life. The next 3 weeks were tense. Nathan sent me one text. Really mature, shows your true character. I didn't respond. The Thursday before graduation, I boarded a plane to London with a mix of defiance, excitement, and lingering guilt. As we took off, I silenced my phone and made myself a promise. For 1 week, I would be Emily who mattered, Emily who was worthy, Emily who deserved beautiful things. I had no idea that by the time I landed, my brother's perfect graduation weekend would already be unraveling in the most spectacular way possible. The first 2 days in London were like a dream. I walked through the British Museum for hours, saw Hamilton in the West End, ate afternoon tea at a gorgeous little cafe in Covent Garden, and felt like I could finally breathe. I kept my phone on airplane mode except for posting a few photos to Instagram. The London Eye at sunset, my fancy tea setup, the view from Tower Bridge. Small, petty acts of, look how great I'm doing without you. Nathan's graduation ceremony was Saturday at 2 p.m. Ohio time, which was 7 p.m. in London. I was at a pub in Notting Hill, eating fish and chips and drinking cider, when I finally turned my phone back on to post one more photo. I told myself I'd just check in quickly, maybe see if anyone had commented on my posts. The screen lit up and my stomach dropped. 84 missed calls, 127 text messages, 19 voicemails. My hands started shaking as I scrolled through the notifications. Messages from my mom, my dad, my Aunt Linda, my cousin Rachel, numbers I didn't recognize, and dozens from Nathan himself. The timestamps told a story. The messages started around 11 a.m. their time, 3 hours before graduation was supposed to start. I opened my mom's text first, my heart pounding. Mom, Emily, call me right now. Mom, this is an emergency. Where are you? Mom, your brother needs you. Please answer your phone. Mom, I don't care if you're in London, get on a plane. My dad's messages were even more frantic. Dad, Emily, answer your damn phone. Dad, this is a family crisis. You need to come home immediately. Dad, your brother is in serious trouble. Stop being stubborn and call US. What the hell was going on? Had someone died? Was Nathan hurt? I scrolled frantically until I found a message from my Aunt Linda that actually explained something. Aunt Linda, I don't know if anyone's told you what's happening, but Nathan's in trouble. Academic dishonesty investigation. They might not let him graduate. It's all over the family group chat. Your parents are losing it. Call them. Academic dishonesty? Nathan? I opened the family group chat I'd muted weeks ago. The messages were chaotic, panicked, and painted a picture I could barely believe. Dad, 9:47 a.m., just got a call from the dean's office. Nathan has to meet with them before the ceremony. Some kind of issue with his thesis. Mom, 10:15 a.m., they're saying there's plagiarism in his research paper. This can't be right. Nathan would never cheat. Aunt Linda, 10:33 a.m., what happens if they don't let him graduate? Can they do that this late? Dad, 10:52 a.m., they can withhold his degree. Jesus Christ. We have 150 people coming to that party tonight. Mom, 11:04 a.m., where is Emily? Nathan keeps asking for his sister. Why isn't she answering? Nathan, 11:27 a.m., can someone please get him on the phone? I need to talk to her. Dad, 11:45 a.m., the ceremony starts in 2 hours, and we still don't know if he's graduating. This is a nightmare. I sat frozen in that London pub, the cheerful noise around me fading into white noise. Nathan, perfect, brilliant, golden child Nathan, was being investigated for plagiarism on the day of his graduation.
My phone rang. Mom.
I answered. Emily. Oh, thank God. Where have you been? Mom, what's happening? The group chat says. It's a disaster. She was crying. Some professor found sections of Nathan's thesis that matched published research. They're calling it plagiarism. Nathan swears it was an accident, that he didn't cite properly, but the Academic Integrity Board is deciding right now whether he gets to graduate. The ceremony starts in an hour, and we don't even know if they're going to call his name. My mind was reeling. How is that possible? Nathan's been working on that thesis for 2 years. It's a mistake. It has to be. Your brother would never intentionally plagiarize. But Emily, he's falling apart. He's been asking for you all morning. He needs his sister. You need to get on a plane right now. There it was again, the expectation that I would drop everything to rescue Nathan from the consequences of his own actions. The same brother who'd told me I didn't deserve to celebrate with him. Mom, I'm in London. Even if I left right this second, it would take 12 hours minimum to get home. The graduation is in an hour. Then start traveling. We need you here. After graduation, if there even is a graduation, we have to deal with this party. We can't cancel it. People are already traveling here. Emily, we need all hands on deck. Your brother needs family support right now. The brother who uninvited me from his party because I didn't support him enough? Emily Marie, this is not the time for your hurt feelings. Your brother's entire future is at stake. His medical career could be over before it starts. Do you understand? He might not be able to get his medical license if this plagiarism charge sticks. Everything he's worked for could be gone. I took a breath, trying to process everything. What exactly does he want from me? What am I supposed to do from London?
He wants to talk to you.
He's been calling you all morning. He says you're the only one who'll understand. Please, Emily. Whatever issues you two have, put them aside. He's your baby brother, and he's in crisis.
Let me call him, I said.
I'll call him right now. I hung up with Mom and immediately called Nathan. He answered before the first ring finished. Oh my God, finally. Where have you been? His voice was wrecked, raw and panicked in a way I'd never heard before. Despite everything, my heart clenched. This was still my little brother. I'm in London, Nate. Mom said something about plagiarism? What happened? It's all a huge misunderstanding. I swear, I didn't mean to plagiarize. I was citing sources and taking notes, and somehow some passages from published papers ended up in my draft without proper citations. It was an accident. I was so stressed and sleep-deprived during finals, and I made a mistake. Something in his explanation felt off, but I pushed the feeling aside. What did the board say? I meet with them in 20 minutes, right before the ceremony starts. They're going to decide if I can graduate or if they're withholding my degree pending investigation. I could lose everything. 4 years of medical school, hundreds of thousands in student loans, and I might not even get my degree. Have you talked to a lawyer? Dad's trying to reach our family lawyer, but it's Saturday and everything's happening so fast. The hearing is in 20 minutes. I'm terrified. What if they say no? What if I can't graduate? Mom and Dad will be devastated. Everyone's expecting this big celebration, and I might not even have a degree to celebrate. Nathan, if you actually plagiarized. I didn't. Not on purpose. It was a citation error, that's all. But they're treating it like I cheated. Like I'm some fraud. You have to believe me. I wanted to believe him.
But something nagged at me.
Nathan had always been meticulous, organized, the type to color-code his notes and triple-check his work. Citation errors weren't really his style. Nate, how much of the thesis was flagged? A pause. Too long. Like some paragraphs. Maybe a few pages. How many pages is your thesis? 40 pages. And how many were flagged for plagiarism? Another pause. About 12. 12 pages. Nearly a third of his thesis. That wasn't a citation error. That was copying. Nathan, that's not an accident. It was. You don't understand the pressure I was under. I had rotations, I had boards, I had job interviews. I was trying to do everything perfectly, and something fell through the cracks. I was going to go back and fix the citations, but I ran out of time and submitted the draft I had. You submitted a draft with 12 pages of unsighted material? Stop judging me. You sound just like the board. I made a mistake, okay? A huge, stupid mistake. But it's not like I'm a cheater. I'm not a bad person. I messed up. And now my whole life is over, and everyone's going to think I'm a fraud, and I'll never be a doctor, and his voice broke into sobs. My phone buzzed with another call. Dad, trying to conference in. Then a text from him. 15 minutes until the hearing. Emily, talk to him. I looked around the pub, at people laughing over pints, at couples sharing desserts, at a group of friends celebrating someone's birthday. I was 5,000 miles away from a problem I hadn't created, sitting in a city I dreamed of visiting, finally doing something for myself. Nate, I don't know what you want me to say. If you plagiarized even accidentally, there are consequences. You're about to be a doctor. You're going to be responsible for people's lives. Academic integrity isn't just some rule. It's about being trustworthy. Are you seriously lecturing me right now? I called you because I need support, not a fucking sermon. I need my sister. The sister you said didn't deserve to be at your party? The words were out before I could stop them. Silence. Then, that's what this is about? You're punishing me? I'm having the worst day of my life, and you're holding a grudge about a party? You told me I hadn't worked hard enough to celebrate with you, Nathan. You said I didn't understand sacrifice or dedication. You literally said I'd never worked for something as hard as you worked for medical school. And now you want me to what? Feel sorry for you, because you plagiarized your thesis and got caught. Oh my God. You know what? Forget it. Forget I called. Go enjoy your little vacation while my life falls apart. That's very on brand for you, putting yourself first. Putting myself first? I've spent my entire life watching you get everything, the money, the attention, the celebrations, the praise. I work my ass off helping traumatized kids for a fraction of what you'll make as a doctor, and I'm treated like my career doesn't matter. You excluded me from your graduation party, and now you're mad I'm not rushing home to save you? You're unbelievable. I'm unbelievable? At least I didn't abandon my family during a crisis. At least I. A voice in the background cut him off. Dad, saying something about it being time to go to the hearing. I have to go, Nathan said, his voice cold. Thanks for nothing, Em. Really great to know who I can count on. He hung up. I sat there staring at my phone, hands shaking, that familiar guilt creeping up my throat. But underneath it was something else. Anger. Anger at being expected to drop everything for a brother who dismissed me. Anger at being blamed for his problems when I was 5,000 miles away. Anger at always being the bad guy for having boundaries. My phone buzzed with more messages. Mom, the hearing starts in 5 minutes. Are you going to call Nathan back and apologize? Dad, your brother needs you to be supportive right now, not petty. Aunt Linda, I hope you're happy. Nathan's devastated, and now he has to go into that hearing upset because his sister abandoned him. I stared at those messages, then looked at my half-eaten fish and chips, at the pint of cider sweating on the table, at the London street visible through the window. Then I opened the family group chat and started typing. I'm not coming home. Nathan made a choice to plagiarize his thesis, accident or not. I didn't create this crisis. I'm finishing my vacation. I hit send, turned my phone to airplane mode, and ordered another cider. 2 hours later, ceremony time back home, I couldn't help myself.
I turned my phone back on.
The messages were explosive. Mom, they let him graduate.
Barely.
The board is still investigating but allowed him to walk with his class. Thank God. Dad, the party is happening but everyone knows something's wrong. People keep asking questions. This is humiliating. Nathan, I graduated. No thanks to you. Hope London was worth it. But it was the message from my cousin Rachel that made my blood run cold. Rachel, you should know, Nathan's blaming you. He's telling everyone at the party that the stress of his sister abandoning the family made him so upset that he made mistakes on his thesis. He's literally making you the villain for his plagiarism. Just thought you should know. I read it 3 times, feeling like I'd been slapped.
He was blaming me.
For his plagiarism. Because I went to London instead of attending a party I was explicitly uninvited from. My phone rang. It was a number I didn't recognize with an Ohio area code. Against my better judgment, I answered. Emily. A woman's voice, professional and slightly cold. This is Dr. Patricia Chen. I'm on the Academic Integrity Board at your brother's medical school. I apologize for calling on a Saturday evening, but something came up during Nathan's hearing that I felt you should know about. My heart started pounding. Okay. Your brother claimed during his hearing that he'd been under extreme emotional distress due to a family situation, specifically that his sister had abandoned the family and was refusing to come to his graduation out of spite. He suggested this distress contributed to his academic oversights. I felt nauseous. That's not what happened. I suspected as much, which is why I'm calling. We take academic integrity very seriously, but we also don't appreciate students using family members as scapegoats for their own choices. I found your number through your parents' emergency contact information. Would you be willing to provide a statement about the actual family situation? And there it was, my chance to either protect Nathan or tell the truth that might cost him everything. I stood on a London street at 9 p.m., 5,000 miles from home, with the power to either save my brother's career or let him face the full consequences of his actions and his lies. Can I think about it? I asked quietly. Of course. But, Emily, speaking as someone who's been in academia for 30 years, you didn't cause your brother's problems. Whatever he's telling people, this isn't your fault. After we hung up, I walked back to my hotel in a daze. My phone kept buzzing with messages from family members, some angry, some pleading, some that I didn't even open. The night stretched out before me, and I had a choice to make. Tomorrow, I could call Dr. Chen back and tell her everything. How Nathan had uninvited me, how he'd belittled my career, how he'd blamed me for his own mistakes. I could protect myself and let the chips fall where they may. Or I could stay silent, let Nathan's narrative stand, and remain the villain in this story. For the first time in my life, I didn't automatically know what to do, because either choice would cost me something. And I was starting to realize that no matter what I decided, my relationship with my brother, maybe with my whole family, was never going to be the same. I ordered room service, poured myself a glass of wine from the mini bar, and stared at Dr. Chen's number in my phone. London glittered outside my window, beautiful and indifferent to my family drama. And I still had 4 more days of vacation left.